Selected to address the class of 2016 for outstanding achievement, please welcome Clara Gamsu.
Good afternoon, faculty and administration, distinguished guests, parents, friends, and families. And to the class of 2016, congratulations. We made it through 4 years of standardized tests, sea lunches, and dodging PDA during passing time. We discovered that if you walk with purpose in the hallways, no one will stop you for your passport. We survived the pandemonium that is our parking lot with only a handful of minor accidents. And we found out the hard way that just because a big assignment physically can be completed in one night, that doesn't mean it should. We've got Amity High School all figured out, and now everything is going to change. We learned in math that delta t is change in time, and time is a constant. So, by the transitive property, change is constant. Now, I'm actually pretty sure that is not how the transitive property works. But if geometry has taught me one thing, it's that that property can be applied to just about anything. So let's just go with it. If that's not sufficient, though, let me bring in Greek philosopher Heraclitus to back me up. He wrote, "Change is the only constant in life." In my time at Amity, I changed a whole lot, as did all of you sitting in front of me in caps and gowns. For every one of us, puberty happened, thank goodness. And friendships were made and strengthened while others faded away. Change is usually a good thing. It keeps things interesting. But it can also be pretty darn scary. I started high school thinking that I was going to be a STEM student. Math and science fascinated me, and I was pretty good at them. When I thought of my future, I saw myself going into some kind of scientific field a decade or so down the line. Of course, that aspiration came before Honors Algebra 2. I think a tweet I made late at night while studying for a test will sum up that class quite neatly for you. I wrote, "It's like math is a friend I had all through childhood, and then one day sophomore year, it changed, and I don't even recognize it anymore." As melodramatic as my 15-year-old self was, I had a point. I had barely passed the midterm, and despite efforts to improve my grade, I found out that math no longer sparked that fire in me that made me want to learn more and work hard. Accepting that change in me was difficult, because I thought I already knew what kind of person I was and what I wanted out of life. But now that passion waned, and I felt a bit lost. How do we strive for success if we don't know what exactly we're reaching for, I thought, and how do we measure that success? What I've discovered is that passion is not defined by an external interest like a school subject. Passion is the feeling which compels you to pursue that subject. So instead of thinking about that big question of where I was headed, I thought about what I was driven to do right then, in the present. I put everything I had into the things that I really cared about: theater, English, history, and didn't think too much about what each calculated move I made meant for my future. It may have seemed naive, but going through school this way made me a much happier, much more engaged student than I was before. The things that ignite passion can change, and that's okay. So to the graduating class of 2016, I say embrace that change. Although it may be scary, it is not a bad thing to not know what you want yet, and it's not a bad thing to change your mind. Passion and finding your passion happens in the present. And now, in this moment, we are at a unique precipice in our lives, in which we have been prepared by Amity to set up into the world, but are not yet confined by many of the responsibilities of adulthood. We are young. We are stargazers on a clear summer night, and there is an entire landscape of stars within our field of vision. Some may be tempted to grab a telescope and hone in on one patch of the sky. But I challenge you to wait on that. I challenge you to look up at brightest stars, to the shooting stars, and to those constellations which you cannot help but connect the dots of. Let yourself be guided by your passions, even if that means steering away from the stars you once reached for. Following your passions will lead you to opportunities and experiences that you could never see if you were looking through the tunnel vision of a telescope the whole time. Our old pal, Heraclitus, said that those who love wisdom must investigate many things. Class of 2016, never stop loving wisdom. Never cower in the face of change, and never ever stop reaching for the stars. Thank you.